We're at our home, Lisa and Bart Walker, in far west Missouri, and we just built a new house here at where the eminence is, where Joseph Smith was arrested. And we found some artifacts on our farm that we incorporated in the house. These beams here are all axe-hewn beams. You can see the axe marks from the axes where they would have shaped it up. And then this is a cedar post that they axe-hewn, and this was sitting on the ground. So this had been sitting on the ground since 1838. It's solid because it's cedar, it weathered it. This is oak, and this oak was sitting on top of the cedar beams. And then at one corner of the foundation, these stones were there. And this was built on an old schoolhouse that was built in the early 1900s. So I didn't have any idea that this would have been in there. The schoolhouse had fallen down. And we took, as I was pushing it down to get rid of the old building, I found these artifacts in there. So on the stones here, you can see where they've taken a hammer and a bit, a star bit of some kind, and they would have chiseled down into the stone. There would have been another stone here. And they did it the same distance apart, almost perfect. Like maybe it was their width of their chisel. They would set it, make that mark, and they had another mark. And then in the creek in the winter, when this would freeze, water would go down in these cracks and then would freeze and would split that block. And that's if they could wait till winter. These distance here might have been enough to split the stone. This is Missouri has soft limestone. It's not strong enough to build with. So they could have split. It might have been what it took to split them. And so we have the stones that a Mormon would have made and split these stones. The Mormon built his cabin, would have axed and chopped these stones, or this wood, to make that. And then later, they put these pockets in, and the schoolhouse was built on top of it. I think the way this is squared up and the way these pockets were built, I'm not for sure if these weren't cut in later. I don't know if they would have done it then or not. But that is some far west Missouri history, some Mormon history that we were able to put in the house. Built this fireplace here, and this is a 16 by 18 inch solid walnut tree that we squared up. And we cut this off of Joseph Smith's farm, 1 mile from here. Joseph Smith owned the farm. And we cut this tree down, made the mantle for it. And the hardwood floors we cut off of walnut that he put, it was off his farm. And then we put the oak beams, same thing, the oak beams were on our property. So it's just a little bit of history of maybe this tree was alive when Joseph was here. It was just a little seedling at the time.